Good morning, Vietnam. Oh, hold on. Boy, my phone was going off last night. I was sleeping. I went to bed early, and I don't do that usually because my husband works night turn. And when I woke up this morning, I had a million messages, text messages about this interview last night. So I immediately go watch it, and I am going to tell you good morning, what wait? I plead the fifth, rainbows and butterflies. Um, I don't know. I'm floored. I don't. How many of you think that that was a setup? I 100% believe Cher set Dudley up last night. Like, are you serious? She wouldn't even allow him to talk. And if you'd listen to some of the interview, Dawn was trying to agree with Dudley. And Cher was like, no, no, no. Like changing the subject, talking over him, talking over Dudley. I'm blown away. But the reason I come on here was because, and I am going to bring a little bit of my own personal life into this. My mother was an alcoholic. My father was an addict. My mother used drugs and alcohol. I wouldn't consider her heavy on drugs when I was a child. Okay, I have two sisters that are addicts right now. One of them's so lost, both of them. The other one's getting worse. We have tried everything in our power to fix them. What I noticed last night was Dudley not denying that he has an addiction problem. Okay. Um, it's insane. I feel he was fully taken advantage of. I feel he's been taken advantage of from the start of this. I feel it has caused issues in his life. Him and his wife are now separated. He's been arrested and he looked bad last night. Like, he looked bad. I'm pretty sure this case has done him no favors. When I was researching Dudley when he was a big thing, back when they did the interviews of him, I had found some things that were shady. Not about Dudley, a few things about Dudley, but nothing major. Like, the only thing I could find in his record was something to do with a job that he had once owned. Okay. Um, I never seen no drug charges. I am going to tell you, I didn't think a year ago that Dudley was an addict. Okay. After last night, I can clearly go back and say that now I do. But, and we have his arrest record. There wasn't meth on it. So the whole fact that he didn't deny that last night tells me that he has problems. Okay. And how dare Cher take advantage of these problems? She put him on the spot. She allowed Dawn to come up on panel and scream with him and start a fight instead of getting real information, things that can make us understand what happened. Okay? Now, I'm not going after Dawn. I'm not going after Dudley. In this situation, I think Cher is a complete piece of fucking trash. Okay? And that's being nice. And I had to get up here and say something because she is no advocate for anybody when she's putting somebody's addiction on full display like that. And this is something she's been doing since the very beginning of Summer's case. The very beginning of Summer's case. She allowed Dawn and Candace to fight on her panel. She invited them up to display bad behavior, as so has so many other creators. That doesn't help find Summer. It creates drama. And maybe that's what I'm doing right now. And this is something I did not want to do. But this is disgusting. And after what Cher did in Quentin's case, putting her Skeletor ass looking face in his front yard to overshadow Quentin's picture. She is a disgusting piece of shit. And Cher, I hope you hear this. Dudley, I pray good things for you. I pray you can get clean, figure out your court shit, and be able to tell your story one day without people over talking you and setting you up. Now, with that said, what do you want to talk about? Let me go through some comments. Sorry. Sorry. I went off a little bit. I'm really disgusted. Like, people don't understand what it's like to have addicts in your family. People don't understand how it hurts. A whole family, innocent family members, children. It's not a game. It's not a joke. And this woman is going out. Leilani was addicted to drugs. Okay. Billy Joe, addicted. Past addictions. She brings it out and puts it on full display. Full display. That is not right. You don't do that to people. If you're a caring person, you help them to get help. You talk to them privately. This is not typical, regular, normal human behavior. All right. Let's see. I'm just so frustrated, guys. I'm frustrated. Cher needs to stop lying, especially on behalf of Dawn. Listen, I've said it, and I'll say it over and over. I'm not accusing nobody of nothing. I don't want to be that person. Okay? There's a chance Dawn and Candace could be innocent. Candace is number one on my suspect list, only because she was the last person to see Summer, and because she refused to show her face for a month and a half after Summer went missing, well, at least a month. And then when she does show her face, she doesn't talk about the case, which is fine. You really probably shouldn't, but she plays games. And we're not going to get deep into that. But I'm not saying Candace, it could be there was a serious something else that happened and Candace is just irresponsible. Okay? But with that being said, I think the whole Beach Creek is shady. Like, not the whole Beach Creek. I'm sorry. Don't let me say that. The people that are involved with Dawn, the people that Dawn has known for over 20 years. When people say Dawn is not a local, I'm sorry. I grew up in one part of my city and then I moved to another one 20 years ago. My kids went to school where I am their whole lives. My youngest daughter will be graduating this year. Okay? This is my town. I'm a local where I live in my city. Dawn is a local. For those who say he's not a local, he was an outsider, bullshit. He knew a lot of people there. Okay? Hey, I'm at work, but listening. It's going to be a long day. Yeah, I feel like it too. I plead the fifth. I feel like it too. G-Mom, everyone. Oh, good morning, everybody. Sorry. Good morning. Wait, what? What, wait? Okay, let's scroll down. I'm sorry if I've missed comments. No, I'm not local in Tennessee. I live in Pittsburgh. What I was saying was I grew up in McKeesport, Pennsylvania, okay, which is outside of the city of Pittsburgh. I also grew up here because my parents were divorced and my grandparents lived here, and you know how that goes. And I grew up in Miami. My parents moved there trying to reconcile, but I am from this side of Pittsburgh now because I've lived here for 20 years. That makes me a local. My children grew up here. Everything I do is here. I know everybody in my community. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people in my community. That makes me a local. That's what I was saying. Dawn isn't a local in hollow term. And yeah. Well, here's the thing. Dawn's mom was married to the goat guy since the 90s. Okay? Dawn was younger, but Dawn visited this home often. I know people can only pinpoint 2 times, but you know, they lived there off and on for years, and they lived in that shed or in a trailer down where the shed was. that everybody's accusing Dawn of going to, which, by the way, I have new thoughts on that. I don't know if we're going to talk about it today. This case is ever changing. Um, but they lived in that shed for a long time. And you hear Fred Hill talk about it. You heard last night them talk about that he's been there since 2005. Okay. And you can't tell me that prior to 2005, he never visited his mother. I just find that hard to believe when she raised him till he was 12. So he was back and forth to Tennessee over the years, and he knows a lot of people in that community. They act like they don't know him. He acts like he doesn't know them, but that's crazy. That's ridiculous. I know all my neighbors. I live in the city. I do have some neighbors I don't correspond with, but I know who they are and what they're about because it's a neighborhood. You take care of your own. So, in my opinion, Don knew a lot of people there, and he is considered a local, whether they thought he was local or not. Now that something's happened, he's not considered local. But if somebody from my city in Pittsburgh came to Don's Hill to do harm to him, them locals would have went after the person in Pittsburgh, not the person that lives up on that hill. Sorry, my husband's sleeping. He works at night. You might hear him snoring and coughing in the background. Cher looks like a drug addict. Dudley needs to go to a channel that will let him talk. I pray for Dudley. He did not deserve that when he said Candace come to the job site to get money, drunk and driving. Right. Like it's just, let me go over that again. Yeah. I believe that Candace drunk drives. We seen Dawn drunk drive right on. They fight all the time. That night, they were fighting when Dawn got arrested for drunk driving, right? You're going to tell me that's never happened before? Yeah, it has. 100%. You can't tell me. They base their lives off of drinking and doing things they're not supposed to be doing. And I'm not saying, there is something wrong with that, but usually that comes from generational abuse or something in their life that is not right. And again, even they are being taken advantage of by certain creators and have been for a long time. It has made this case look bad. It's made them look bad. And when Dawn blames, now listen, this is my opinion, and if anybody wants to get mad at me, do it. When Dawn blames YouTube, he went to YouTube for help. He did this, he did that. Look how quiet it got while he was in jail. And Candace stopped going on her knees and doing all that other stuff. Look how quiet. If Dawn would have seeped behind the scenes, all we would have had was what happened in the past. Dawn continues to bring his drama to YouTube. He continues to go to YouTube creators that do not like each other and then pit them against each other. White Boy Lockdown does not like Cher at all. But Dawn is White Boy's best friend right now. Dawn is purposely causing drama. He gets on Josh's channel and he says things like, oh, I drove the white truck that day. I drove the red car the day before. Then he gets on another panel and says, no, I drove the car the next day. He's purposely switching his stories to confuse people. And that makes me have to question why. Why the hell is he doing that? In my opinion, I just think he is purposely doing this. He cannot blame YouTube and the police and this and that. You had to stay sober to get your children back on. You know that for a fact. Any parent within DHS, CYF, DHSSS, whatever the hell they call it, has to stay clean. They drug test almost every family when their children have been removed. If you wanted your children to be removed for safety reasons, there would not have been court involvement. You had to go to court. Your children were adjudicated. Quit blaming the internet for what you're creating. Because that's what's going on. You're jumping from channel to channel, causing issues between creators and LE, between creators and locals. You brought Chase into this. Remember, he's your friend. He's been your friend, as you said on Smiley's channel. Tim Mullen. Oh, I met him when we were driving drones. Oh, no, I've known Tim a long time. Oh, no, we met Tim at the parade. We met Tim through Robin. For those that say their stories have never wavered, I beg to differ. And then he says the CPS case was closed the day before. No way. They were called that same day for Dawn's kids having guns. Pew-pews. Shit. Sorry. But they were called that that day for the kids having pew-pews. We know, according to the interview with Sherry on JLR, that there was a DHS case opened because of something that happened between them two. We have been told something happened with Josie and Dawn had to take Josie to Utah. And then people are going to say, oh, he came back to get Jose driving 90 miles an hour, and that's okay. Do people ever put together that he had Josie in that truck driving back from Utah to Tennessee, driving 90 miles an hour to get home as fast as he could, all mad? He got pulled over on that trip. I'm not saying Dawn and Candace are guilty. I don't know who is. I'm not the police. I don't have evidence. I'm not LE. I'm not FBI. I am not TBI. But what I am is an outsider looking in. And the writing's on the wall. These people are not good people. Guilty or not. And something's wrong with this. There is no reason that Dawn should be getting on Voice's wall to attack Dudley. If Dudley's a suspect, Dawn's not allowed to contact him. That's not going to look good, Dawn, when you go to court for any reason. You are contacting and reaching out to people you should not be talking to. If you believe this man is a suspect, you shouldn't be speaking to him. You should be calling TBI, FBI, even freaking Ronnie Lawson. Let me look at another comment. I'm sorry. He talks to Jody Sue too. Yeah, he probably does. He talks to everybody. And I get it that Dawn said he tried to use the internet for good. That he wanted to get Summer's face out there. But when he seen that the internet wasn't good, look, where's Grandis? All we have is speculation about Grandis. We have a couple text messages that we're not even sure came from her. Okay, we have her news interview. She's only in the spotlight because of them. But she doesn't come out and talk. If you ask me, Candace is smart. She knows not to get up and talk about the case. You know why? Because she's a freaking criminal. She's been to jail several times. Have you seen all of her mugshots? He's here to con for the money. Yes. I've said it and I've screamed it 1,000 times. No matter who thinks what about Jeannie and Mary, I have personally been told by Jeannie that Dawn stole his father's credit card. And then he used it to donate to a charity. It is nothing but cons. Why is he so in this with Chase? He knew what was going on in them billboards and he's still defending him? A man that supposedly stole money for billboards for your missing child? And you're like, oh, he's my friend. I feel bad for Chase. What? Make that make sense. Hold on 1 minute, guys. My son's in the room. I got to say something to him. 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what your thoughts. Does anybody want to come up on panel and talk? I ask all the time. Nobody comes up, but if you ever feel like it. I'm just so upset about how this is all going down. Like, I don't understand. 2 years later, and it's still fast paced. Every day there's new information or somebody coming up. It was so quiet when Dawn was in jail. Besides, the Tim Mullins and the phone and the this and the that and the bullshit and fightings. That's why all the creators were fighting. Dawn got us all to fight, right? And then he goes to jail, and we're all still fighting amongst each other who's on whose side. Dawn and Candace and a lot of channels has used Summer as a cash cow. Summer is the victim, not the parents. Exactly. And Summer's not the only victim. Summer's the biggest victim. Summer's the one we should be most concerned about. But what they did to Dudley last night made Dudley a victim. I'm sorry. That was a setup. And Cher is so disgusting. She is completely and utterly and totally disgusting. There is nothing about that woman that is good. Nothing. And I don't give a shit who hears it. And I don't care if this is creating drama. I watched what she did in a Quentin's case from behind the scenes, but involved. Like, I was still, you guys think I was gone? I wasn't gone. I was still working. I became friends with Danny's mom. I still talk to her to this day, which, by the way, I need to message her because she messaged me a while ago and I didn't respond. I need to do that. And her heart was broken. What Cher did was completely disgusting. Putting that banner up, grotesque. Complete grotesque. Her face bigger than Quentin's on the front lawn of a house where they're digging for a baby in the dumpster, in the trash yard. What is wrong with her? Hey, innocent until proven guilty. Or Ellie letting the internet kick these parents' asses. Is that's what's going on? Man, I don't know. Here's what I'm going to say. 1 second. I have really studied Letitia's case. I pretty much know everything about the Vallow case because I am intrigued by that case. So it's another case I follow closely. I watched the trials of both, and I'm screaming in my community post, go watch just the interviews with the police, the FBI, and any law enforcement that was involved, because they knew a lot of shit early on. They know a lot more, and they do things that we don't even know about, like body language specialists. And, when they record them, they take their recordings to places and they analyze. And I don't think the card team, I don't think the FBI, let's put Hawkins County to the side. I don't think they have let this go. They're a professional agency, and this little girl's missing. You want my honest thoughts? And it's an opinion. Please let me state this. I don't know why, but I feel like Ronnie Lawson is making it hard for TBI and the FBI. And one day we're going to get to the bottom of that too, because I'm sure that's part of this and what's dragging so long. They're probably investigating Hawkins County for all the bullshit. Brandon Lawson getting out of jail and hardly no sentence for what he did, and everybody's going after the Sherfies. Brandon Lawson did the same thing, and it's been put on the back burner. That should be even higher up. Something is not right here. But I will tell you, please keep your faith in FBI. I posted a case that happened here in Pennsylvania the other day. This was in the 60s, okay? And this is why I say Dawn and Candace could be 100% innocent, okay? There was a case here in rural Pennsylvania, about 30 minutes from me, 45 minutes from me in Butler County. The little girl was featured as one of the first kids on, I believe, America's Most Wanted or something. I'd have to go back and read it. But I found this the other day, and I didn't even know about it. And I have many friends that live in the community that were around at the time of this, and I've been asking them questions because I want to throw this in with Summer's case. But it was a long driveway. The case is a little bit different. The little girl got off of a bus and disappeared. Everybody's seen her. There was a white van with a skier on the side of it, much like this red truck, like the same thing. And they've never found this little girl. And back then, the parents were shady as hell. Now they're all like proper. It's been 40 some years or 30 some years. So I'm sure their lives have changed. But they looked shady just like Dawn and Candace. So if you want to go to my community post and watch the video I posted on that. So it is possible that Summer was abducted. I'm not saying that she wasn't. But let's go through all these theories. It's possible she was abducted. It's possible she got into something bad Candace had. It's possible she drowned. It's just the amount of shady characters that Dawn and Candace were around. Okay, that makes this case look so bad. But when you get to the bottom of the case, Candace was the last person with this child. She refuses to talk anything about the case. She gets on where they were in, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. The behavior panel, okay? She gets on the behavior panel, and when they start asking her real questions about the case, what does she say? I feel like I'm being interrogated again. They barely interrogated her the first day. We haven't seen these parents going to TBI. We haven't seen these parents cooperating. The police could have been lying to us from the beginning to get the parents to talk. I have pulled clips in this last week that prove that they were not getting along with TBI. You seen a team come running up the hill. There was a big fight. They were all aggravated because people were there searching. I'm just saying, guys, think. Don't accuse anybody, but think. If you were a police officer and you knew the real facts in this case, who would be your number one suspect? Not based on theory, based on fact. And I'm a channel that speculizes. Okay? All right. I hope all report voices behind the wall, because she's gone overboard. And to attack Dudley as BS, Candace is responsible for Summer. She's the one on the radar. Also Dawning maybe Grandis. Right. I mean, we don't know that they're guilty. Like I said, it's a huge possibility she was abducted. It has happened in rural communities with long driveways. I honestly do recommend that y'all go watch that video I posted and study it. Look at the case. You'll see a lot of similarities. It's probably the most similar case I have found to date, because when I research, that's what I look for. I look for cases that are similar, that you can go back and see what happened. No, I'm not a specialist, a doctor, or anything. I'm just a sleuth, but it interests me. Like, what's the difference? Could this be somebody that kidnapped a kid 38 years ago and went around America? How many cases are there in a rural area over the lifespan of a human that could still be living, where there's a missing child? This could be a serial abductor. There are so many things that could have happened to Summer. None of us have proof until the agents come out and tell us exactly what happened. I feel since the reward money is gone, I feel like they have gave up on Summer. I pray I'm wrong. Listen, let me take a drink of water. Hold on. Where'd I put that? I should have kept that up there. I don't think anybody's given up on Summer. I get moments. This is why sometimes I can think Dawn and Candace are innocent. When Candace did her interview with Chris McDonough, you seem like a soul, But then the next week, they're on there cussing Chris McDonough because he accused Dawn of being in the shed. What a stupid ass fight. And look, I like Chris McDonough, but I think that was stupid. I think that's what started this all. Was Dawn got mad because Chris accused him of being in the shed. Even if he was, what does it matter? Maybe he didn't want to be on camera. Like, that doesn't make somebody guilty of harming a child. We get theories like Michelle Walks, okay? She is completely out of left field and cracking cases is with her. And I'm talking shit today. I don't even give a shit no more. I really don't. I've been through hell in this true crime community, and it's time I say my thoughts. Michelle Walks. The Sharfies did this and did that because of land. You really think they're going to train their adult son to be a pedo and then go kidnap Summer Wells because they wanted Dawn's land? How far fetched does that sound? She makes us look like we are from the wild, wild west in the movies that my grandfather used to watch. Like, it doesn't even make sense, and these creators should not be allowed to do these things. Now, I do the same thing. I speculate, I get on here. But I have recently, since everything I went through with YouTube, come to the realization that everything I report on is speculation and opinion. And it should be stated. And it should be stated by every creator, not facts like I researched. My research is right. I was drawn into that. My research can be 100% wrong. There is a lot of shady people in that area. Could there be Ronnie Lawson is just covering up something else that has nothing to do with Summer Wells? Like Moonshine Mountain and Meth Mountain? I mean, I'm just saying, you guys, look at the facts. You have to look at the facts. There are hardly any, but the ones that are there are the story changes by not just Dawn and Candace, by other people involved in this case as well. More information has come out this last month in this case by these people than has ever come out before. They are all talking. Something is going on over there. Somebody knows something. And I'm pretty sure the FBI and TBI does too. Because all these people are getting online and admitting, yeah, I'm a meth addict. So what? Yeah, I'm this. Yeah, I'm that. Dawn changing his story. Yeah, I took the white truck. Well, you know what? None of us were there. He's playing games with us, and that's proof because guess who was there when he pulled up into his driveway in the vehicle he was driving? Two cops, two cop cars. So they seen what he was driving. Jody Sue knows what he was driving. It's just dumb that we sit here and build stories off of a little bit of speculation. Do the research. If you want to be a channel that reports facts, do the research. But even with your research, it doesn't mean that these people are guilty of anything. Everybody's guilty and everybody's innocent until somebody is arrested and they are tried in the court of law. Possible look at Lawson's son. Well, you know, Dawn said he doesn't know Lawson's son. I don't think Lawson's son would have had anything to do with it. He liked teenagers. Okay. I do think it's shady as fuck that, and excuse my French, I'm sorry I'm cussing. I'm really angry about voices last night. I don't think you understand. I really did grow a bond with Danny's mom, and I seen what she had been through. She spoke to me, not about the case, nothing about the case, but about her feelings and how she felt she was being portrayed. And she's not a bad person. She is probably the sweetest person ever. Okay? So, what Cher did in that case is unforgivable. Unforgivable. How dare you put your face bigger than the baby that's missing that they're digging in the landfill for? You understand what I'm saying? Like, how dare you? What a spectacle. What a way to disgrace baby Quentin in his name and what was important. She put herself in the forefront and made herself more important than anybody. And that's exactly what she's doing right at this minute. It's the same exact thing. And she has done it in the past with Dawn's, you know? And like I said, I blame that on nobody but Dawn. He knows when to walk away and when not to contact people. He is a grown-ass man. He knows when not to get online He shouldn't be online at all, except for to hold up a picture of his daughter and cry and say, please help me find my daughter. We have not seen that once. He's never attended a TBI news conference. They've gone to the news, but they fight with the news after the news leaves. Every news station. Look what he did to Brian Enton. Y'all don't find nothing shady in that? I'm sorry, I do. I'm just saying, Dawn has shit to hide. Whether it be summer or not, he has something to hide. Yeah, innocent until proven guilty. I was happy to see them up there too because it brought out. Now, look, I don't think Dawn's lying about everything. Jeez, a frog in my throat. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, I just had a whole coughing fit. Dry throat. I apologize. Um, Cher is being a hypocrite on her live. Yes. Yes. More than a hypocrite. Cher is creepy and she knows what brings the audience, and this is going to be talked about for days. And people are going to rush to her channel, and she's going to start fights with people over it. And here comes the whole thing, okay? And it's a joke to Dawn and Candace, in my opinion. It is my opinion that the shit fires they start between the YouTube creators is laughable to them. They think this shit is funny, and they're right. It is. How can two people with a missing daughter manipulate the whole damn true crime community? That's what they're doing. Regardless of whether, regardless of whether they are guilty of Summer being missing or not, the shit firestorms they're starting is their own. They're doing this. Like, I don't just, my mind is blown at how many people are fighting against each other and taking sides. I just, I don't know. Maybe Dawn will put a big banner up at the not finished. Um, yeah, that's what I was saying before I started coughing. When have we seen Dawn and Candace sincerely on the news? One time. And Candace was off her rockers. Look at her. Whether she was drinking or doing something else that day. And Dawn, I get it. Like, you don't want to admit that yins were alcoholics, but it's out there. It's plain to see. And this is obviously something that was taken off before Summer had gone missing. Because you couldn't stop. An addict can't stop. Your child was missing, and you couldn't stop to sober up, to go to a TBI conference and beg and plead for the person that took your daughter to give her back. That's where I have my suspicions about you and your wife. That is a fact. I really wanted to hear Dudley talk. I think he was set up. I do too. And if Dudley ever sees this and wants to come up on my panel, I will shut my mic off and give him the platform to say whatever the hell he wants to say. That is not what happened to him last night. That's not. That was mom mentality. It wasn't fair to him. And Cher never should have had him on her panel, accusing him of some of the craziest things, asking him if he knew people. It's clear he doesn't know them people. He's not even from that area. His father is. He's not. He had companies that he owned down in Louisiana. Okay? He came back here with his wife because his wife's family lives here. From what I can tell, I don't know that. That's from what I can tell. That's from the research I've done, and that's from what I've heard of him. And look what happened. And his father lives here. I don't know where all that goes, but I do know the man has ties to Louisiana. He's not from here. He doesn't know Fred Hill. He doesn't know the people they were asking him about. He didn't hang out with Dawn. Okay, in my opinion, and Yins might laugh at this or even hate me for saying it. You have high class, you have low class, you have middle class, okay? In my opinion, Dudley's a user, but it seems to me he came from a decent family, okay? Now, rich people can get addicted and destroy their lives. It doesn't matter what kind of money you have to do drugs. I do not believe Dudley came from that type of lifestyle. Okay? Dudley does not know them people that Dawn knows. And for Cher to get up there and ask him ridiculous questions like she did and then cut him off when he's I don't understand it. He said he met Jose a few times. Innocent until proven guilty. I think this case. Hold on one sec. I'm waiting a cigarette. I think this case has so many names and so many people. Yes, he said he met. I didn't. When is that new? The old thing I heard about him and Jose, because I don't want to comment on something I don't know about. Okay, so the old thing I know about what he said about Jose, and I made a video about it, just like one of my last videos, was that it was a man that was living on a property that was Grandis's boyfriend. Okay. Now, we all know that Jose Grandis, listen, please don't laugh at me. I'm going to say this, okay? Grandis was jealous, yo. From what I can see, they were all fighting over Jose, them three women. But he had Allie and Candace. So what the hell is he going to do with Grandis? I think Grandis had a crush on him. I don't believe her to be Jose's girlfriend, okay? But I have heard rumors of somebody named Billy living in sheds on their property. It is my opinion that Dudley, we seen last night, that he confuses things. That's a indication of drug use, okay? Being forgetful in names and things like that. And it is my opinion, from what I have viewed of Dudley, that he mixes names up. I do not believe he meant Jose. And if I ever get a chance to talk to Dudley, I will see if that's the case. He said he's good at hiding things. Who? Dudley? I mean, listen, if Yins believe Dudley can have a hand in this, go for it. But I think, he explained last night why his car was there that day. Dawn had drove him to work and was picking him up. The bigger question is if Dawn was supposed to be at work and Dudley was at work, why was Dawn home? Right? I mean, I'm just trying to come at this. Yeah, if Dudley does drugs, he knows people, but Dudley doesn't live near the wells. That's what's nobody's understanding. Dudley lives in a whole nother state. He lives on the other side of Kingsport. Dudley does not live with the wells. So let's think about this. Like, Dudley must have really needed that job because he drove at least 45 minutes to an hour every morning to Dawn's house to leave his car there and then get a ride to work. Because Dawn would try to duck him so that he couldn't follow him. Like, you really got to go back and listen to all of the interviews and put it together. You could see what was going on. At the beginning of this, Dawn said Dudley was slinging the mud all over the windows and writing stuff on the walls. Dudley went and did an interview, and Dawn admitted he was the one that did it. Why would you do that? Like, was you setting Dudley up to be fired? Like, Dawn, that's what makes me, those are the things that make me feel like you're guilty. Like, was you purposely giving yourself a reason, knowing Tucker was going to be there on the 14th to fire Dudley as a fall guy? Like, let's think about the things you've done the day prior, the things Dawn has done the day prior. slinging mud on the walls, admitting that he did it and Dudley didn't do it, getting Dudley fired. Perfect timing. If Dawn is involved. If. That's an if. Like common sense as a human being, put real life. This is not a movie. This is like truly a missing child. She's not it's just disgusting. This isn't a movie. And the stories he made up, we don't hear him say, oh, the police said they seen a yellow car no more. When's the last time you heard him say that? I'd like somebody to ask him that right now. Did the police see a yellow car? Would they confirm that they seen a yellow car? Driving by, speeding. I don't know. Dawn was jealous, afraid Dudley would move up on the job and being up Dawn's boss. Nah, I don't think it was that. I think Dawn just didn't like the dude. I don't know why. It could be. That could be. Dawn could have been jealous of Dudley moving up in the job. But here's the thing. Dudley was already being a pain in the ass to Tucker, calling every day, telling on Dawn, and Dawn was sick of it. So Dawn had to cause problems to get him fired because Dudley kept snitching on him. In my opinion, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Y'all can think what you want. I don't tell people what to think. I'm just saying these are my thoughts. Like if you put it together and use some common sense, I don't know. At Darlene. Who does Candace see first when looking for Summer? I had a thought on that. I'm glad you asked that, Darlene. Why is Jody Sue and Dawn making a beeline for the shed? Why are both of them trying to get to the shed? That they both go there while the police are there. That just bothers me. Yeah, Dudley wasn't allowed to answer any questions, Paw Patrol. None at all. Like, I really was sitting down thinking the other day, like, why was it Dawn and Jody Sue were both at that shed? What were they hiding? The police were there the day before. DHS was there the day before. What did they need to take out of those houses and put in that shed? That's a theory. I'm speculating, but think about it. Something had to have been hidden in that shed that they didn't want the police to find. They knew the police were coming and they were aiming for the shed to remove whatever it was. I think Summer going missing was an accident. I don't think anybody killed her. I think it's very possible she could have wandered off. And if you've listened to me talk during this live, I've thought 10,000 theories. But, it just, right, weed, drugs, Robert's girl says. Listen, I haven't had a chance to go through and thank you all for being here and say hello to everybody. I'm sorry, I forget that. I'm not the greatest at this yet. I'll get there where I can concentrate on the chat and the videos one day. Let's see. Why did Dawn say Jody Sue was down there when Summer went missing? Down where? At the bottom of the hill, maybe, Wood Fairy? Do you think that's what he meant? Or down by the shed? Like, why is it these people were making a straight beeline for the shed? Like, Dawn was so concerned with Summer, he should have been up there talking to the police, not checking the shed. Even if he seen his boys and his neighbors. He should have known they were looking for Summer and that area was taken care of. So I'm going to go up and talk to the police and Candace and find out what happened and see what's going on up on that hill. Because that would have been where I'm going. If he seen his boys, he knew his boys were fine. There was no reason for him to stop in that area, in my opinion. And she can be. A lot of people see Jody Sue suspect. I'm not going to say she's not a suspect. I'm not going to say that she is. I think there's a lot of shady shit that she's done. Do I think she had anything to do with Summer? No. Again, I think it's a bigger cover up to something else that was going on in Beach Creek that everybody wants hitting that has nothing to do with Summer. And Summer is just a wrench in her. She's just a sore, she's just whatever happened to Summer is going to bring something in that area out that they're trying to keep hidden. My opinion. Cover up. Pit Mom. I'm thinking cover up. Andy, maybe a little more. It'll come to light. The FBI is going to find out what happened. I have faith. I can keep my fingers crossed and I pray every day. Every day. I pray for Summer. I pray for Monkey. I pray for all the missing kids. I am more invested in Summer's case. So this is what I cover because this is what I started with. I've tried, guys, to walk away from this a million times. I cannot. And I don't know why. There's something about this case that I cannot walk away from. I fought my way to come back to YouTube because I cannot walk away from this case. I have done far too much research on the people in Beach Creek. Far too much research on Don's boss and his people. Like, this is 2 years of my life. I've woken up. My son and I just had an argument the other day because my own kids at times feel abandoned by me because I eat and sleep Summer Wells. I was gone, but I was not researching. And I did look crazy, like insane. Fighting my way to come back to tell you guys the things that I found. And this is just like, no matter what I found, I don't even want to bring anything out no more because I don't know. It's crazy. I just don't understand why these parents are being passed from YouTube channel to YouTube channel, and it's straight there that they're the ones playing the damn games with the YouTubers. Nobody should be hosting them. If they are innocent, every time they go on some panel and talk, every time, you are putting their innocence in danger. Because they're saying things that people are hearing and twisting words. Either you put the words they have said out and give commentary on it, or you host them. I'm going to tell you what. I don't know if I was given a situation to interview Dawn right at this moment because I'm so angry, I might have done it, But thinking back now, no, I don't want them people on my channel. They're the parents of a missing kid. What I want to see them do is go to Good Morning America, CNN, Fox News, 48 Hours, 60 Minutes. That's what they're not doing. They went on Dr. Phil, and Candace had the audacity to walk out because she felt interrogated. Well, imagine what Summer feels, Candace. Imagine. Yeah, Nancy Grace. How many places could Dawn and Candace have gone to rather than YouTube? And they're still not going to them places. They see the fights here. They know it's causing drama. It's making the true crime community look horrible. It's making us look like that's all we want is drama and to fight. I don't listen. Besides Cher, because I think she's a piece of shit, even Tiffany Marie, even Benny. I have no problems with no creators right now, even if they talk shit on me. And I said that the other day. Like, that is not my business. If somebody doesn't like me, it's not my problem. I like me. Okay? And I'm here to do what I set out to do, what I have put in my time in. And I'm not going away for nobody. So, this is just, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. Nancy Grace has me blocked. Oh, Lord. She's a little bit like us YouTubers, I think. She likes the speculation. But Nancy Grace is also a victim. So, Dawn said he wanted to stop. But Candace said, no, the money is too good. Yeah, maybe. He had all them people fix his house up. They're not even there. I don't even like them people. Pamela Sanchez, in my eyes, is a piece of crap. She's one of the people that were up there helping Dawn. She had his phone. She was all up in his thing. Then she goes on cracking cases, says she sees Jody Sue's son in the woods. I don't believe that. I've had many conversations. She never once mentioned that. She was in all the YouTube groups. Like, she's just full of shit, you know? So, I mean, those are the things I look at. I look at the character of the person when I am looking at who they are. And you see what kind of people are who. Like, for instance, I'm sitting here and I'm sticking up for this babysitter right now in the Quentin case. But to be honest with you, I feel like she wanted recognition too. And she deserved it. She took care of that little baby. But, there's just other ways to do things. You don't jump in front of the news camera every time they're in front of your house. Just my opinion. I don't know if one of my children or grandchildren were missing, I would not handle certain situations the way others have handled theirs. And I pray to goodness none of my grandchildren ever go missing, or any of their kids, or anybody in my family. I mean, it's bad enough my one sister's pretty much missing right now. I mean, like, we know the vicinity, but we don't know. Long story. Yeah. If they wanted their kids back, their asses would have already went to rehab on day one. Exactly. They have put YouTube above Summer. They have put the drugs above Summer. They have put the drinking above Summer. And now where are they? They're not even nowhere near there. Why? And you know what? No, I'm not even going to touch on that because that'll cause problems. Like I said, I have a lot of thoughts and theories. Tons. We all do. But if you looked at the facts of the case, you would see Candace was the last person with her, and her behavior since then has been shady as fuck. Okay? Regardless of how sweet she is, and if she gets on other people's channels, and it's this and that. And Candace is so loving and so kind. And hey, critters, go back to the farm. You know what I mean? Like, I could sit here and say I think Candace is 100% innocent. But I can also say I think Candace is 100% guilty. If you understand what I'm saying. I'm not going to bow down to anybody and act like they're my best friend and have them come to my home because I need views on YouTube. You either like me or you don't. That's just who I am. And that's who I'll always be. My son's sitting right here. You want him to tell you? You want to say hi, babe? No, he's shaking his head. I tried to come live yesterday and I couldn't because my daughter-in-law got stage fright. It was like a last minute thing. So I have to apologize to you guys because I do. My granddaughter wants to be on YouTube and I don't want her face out there, but I want her. She's very well aware in a kid friendly way about Summer. I've built a garden in front of my house and I've explained Summer's missing and how she should never talk to strangers or, stranger danger. I might not be able to bring her up to talk, though. She's 6. And she really said to me, Mimi, I know you're not supposed to take the candy and go with the stranger, but what if you kick the stranger in his private, take the candy and run? I'm not bringing her on. It was cute. Sorry, I had to share it. I have never seen anything like this case before. Me neither, Paw Patrol. Me neither. And it's sad. Could you imagine if this was one of your family members? Just for 1 second? I've been raising 6 grandkids since 2011. I know what addicted parents look like and how they lie to get what they want. Exactly. You know what? Addicts are some of the smartest people you will ever know. They know how to play games with you. They know how to make you... There has been so many times, listen. Again, I don't want to make this live about me. But it coincides with a lot of us. Like, a lot of us have been through family addictions or addicted ourselves. you know? And to think about, I don't know, think about what Summer been through. Think about just the whole, like, how dare these people pass this family, the parents of this child, from channel to channel and allow this family to start fights between creators? Because I don't know, that's all I could say. It's there, the writing's on the wall. And I don't mean Dawn's mud writing. Yes, I want Summer found too. I want Summer found too. I think anybody that knows about Summer wants Summer found. And I think those that don't know about Summer should print flyers and put them in their city. Put them around the areas where it's heavily traveled, where lots of people, like I don't live far from a college area. I live very close to the University of Pittsburgh, and I plan on going and putting her picture where people travel from other states to come to different cities that may have seen her or may have seen her on a highway. Or scary thing, bringing kids into this hellhole. It is. The world's hard. And it just so happens there's a lot of people that are addicted, and the statistics in Rogersville are high. And I'm going to say something. Jody Sue says, I've been to a lot of funerals. If you look down there, go look at the obituaries in the last 10 years in Rogersville. Just read how young the people were. Greene County, all in that area. Look at the amount of death that they have seen in them small communities due to drugs. It has overtaken their area. You know? Right, Lisa J. No summer, no peace. Oh, that's nice. Look, my son just comes up. Sorry, I got quiet. My son just comes up. Here's something that's going on in my community right now. He just showed me this. Fayette County parents charged after police say 6-month-old tested positive for cocaine. That's how serious drugs are in our country right now. As I'm sitting here talking to you, that's what my son put in my face. So, can be on Summer's side. That's the superb. Just keep y'all own kids away from here. Well, and here's another thing too. Like, Tiffany Marie and I don't exactly get along, but I was listening to her live last night, and she was. I suggest you go listen to her live. She made a lot of good points last night about Summer's case and who's following what. You know, I don't agree with everything she says, and I don't really want to talk too much about her. So we'll just. Sometimes I open my mouth and I shouldn't. I have lost many loved ones to addiction. Yes. Jam 420, it is so hard right now for me when it comes to that, because I have tried everything in my power to help one of my sisters. And now I have a younger sister that is probably getting worse than the older one. Okay. I'm the oldest, but the one below me, I have a lot of siblings, you know? But now I'm watching my other sister become addicted, and she's doing things where DHS has been involved. My sister that's right under me, she just walked away from her children. Her husband was in the services. I had to raise her children, and I hate to say anything bad about anybody in the services, but he helped to provide her addiction and then threw her to the trash, and now she's lost somewhere in Iowa. She just had a baby that was addicted. I can't find her. I finally got an understanding with her since my mother has passed away in January or February. That February, sorry guys. I finally got an understanding with my sister. She did not come back here. Of course, somebody drug addicted blames everybody else. It's her fault. It's everybody's fault she couldn't get back here to Pittsburgh to go to my mom's funeral and stuff. But it's really hard to watch. But she has this baby, and the baby's doing great. He lives with its dad. It's so much to it, and it's so hard for me to even put into words what it's like to be a family member of somebody who has addiction, somebody you love. It's really hard to watch them become bad people and not love them and not feel sorrow and try to help them. I have myself enabled my sister because of her pain. You know what I mean? Like, we all enable that at first when we don't understand what's going on. And people should know that, like, when somebody's on meth or heroin and they get high, that when they're happy and they look clean, that's when they're high. It's when they're coming off of their I'm just rambling. When they come off of their addiction or they can't get it or they don't have it in their system, it hurts. Like, it's a true pain. It's terrifying to watch. And I tried that with my sister. I have tried everything I could possibly do. An addict can only become clean if they want to become clean. And we're watching that display in this case. It's sad. Right. Not sometimes. It is very hard. I could tell you stories like my sister moved to Canton, Ohio at one time because, like I said, her husband was in the services, and I had gone from Pittsburgh. It's only about an hour away. I had gone from Pittsburgh to search for her, and I'm gonna tell you what, it opened my eyes. I've seen the most horrific shit I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot. My son's a heart transplant recipient, and I've lived a lot of life, but it was very sad to see 13-year-old girls coming out of abandoned houses and calling the police to ask them to come help you get your sister out of a house, and I'm saying no and ignoring the situation and watching it. I seen a pimp tell my sister she wasn't allowed to talk to me, and there was nothing I could do. It's terrifying. I'm not even going to talk about that no more. This is about Summer. I would never let Dawn and Candace on my channel. They are suspects and they lie nonstop. I would never do it. Just so stupid. It is. It's extremely stupid. And it's like, these creators need to stop. They need to just stop hosting Dawn and Candace. Quit having them on your channel. It's not helping Summer. It's hurting Summer. Imagine if Summer is found alive. She is going to have to come home traumatized to whatever's going on with her. Okay? And then she's going to have to watch this for the rest of her life. Her parents on YouTube live, high, drunk, telling lies, changing their stories. You're not doing Summer any favors by hosting these people on your channels. If she is alive, you have just contributed to what is going to harm her for the rest of her life. My opinion. Lisa J, it's never really been said for sure. Here's the thing. Ellie has never came out and give us the facts. We're only going by the facts that we have discovered and asked. Everybody's saying Dawn is at work, but now everything has changed. Because Dudley was fired the day before, and Dawn now says that he took the white truck and then changed it back to the Subaru. If he took the white truck, the timeline is totally different. Because when he was shoving tools into the Subaru to get home as fast as he could. If he has a truck, most of his tools are probably in there, and he's probably carrying what he needs into the place that was almost finished. He didn't need that many tools, in my opinion. And my God, with this drywall competition, we're going to have to make a YouTube where Dudley and Dawn goes online and has a drywall competition, because I've never heard of anything in my life like that, but whatever. Yeah. And people asking for money for them. They have none of their kids. None of them. I don't care if they're going to go buy a used PlayStation and take it to their children. Okay? They should have done that a long time ago. They've been given enough money. Repairs on their house that they're now thinking about selling and moving away from, and they have no answers for Summer. I would stay there at least another year or two, at least 5 years. I don't know. Something's just not right. And the amount of people that are not paying attention, in my opinion, the amount of people that are saying what they are doing is okay. The amount of people that are saying, oh, Candace is sweet, that may be. You can make friends with Candace after there's answers for Summer if she's innocent. My opinion, my speculation. If Candace is innocent, I'll tell you what, I'll be her best friend. She can live with me. If there is proof that Candace is innocent, 100% proof, by the way, I'm lying. She can't live with me. But you know what I'm saying. Right. No one is cleared. Well, here's my thing on that. One thing a police officer said, okay, and I believe that the police can lie, okay? And I believe it was a lie. They're just sick of phone calls about Jody Sue being cleared. Pruitt did get on local TV, and he did say that Jody Sue was cleared. So now the direction I'm going, and this is why I'm not following Jody Sue as much, is because as they X them out and I hear things that law enforcement said, I go another path, you know? And if we take Jody Sue out of the equation, I feel we could figure out if Jody Sue is involved, how she's involved. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she has thrown a lot of monkey wrenches into Summer's case, in my opinion. She is another one that should not be on YouTube. Okay? I've had conversations with Jody Sue. I had gotten to the point where I had real conversations with Jody Sue. And everybody who has been subbed to me for a long time knows this. People thought I was taking Jody Sue's side because of it, and it brought me down. But no, that wasn't it at all. I did offer to be her friend, but it was because, yeah, of course I want to get information from her. Any YouTuber that is reaching out to somebody is trying to get information. Why else would I reach out to her? I don't know her in real life. Yes, the police can lie. We seen that in Lacey Peterson case. Scott Peterson. The police lied directly to the media. So that's not something I wish she would, Crystal. Yes. What mother's messed up around 11 when talking to Allie after your child just went missing? Right. But is Allie telling the truth? Because she's another one. That's what I'm saying. Everybody is so shady in this case. Everybody. Look, let's go to Pandrew. Like, if we want to go back and revisit Summer's case, I will happily help make that happen. Let's go back and look at Allie, okay? She has made up so much shit and then the stories had changed. I had gone on Andrew's panel the other day, tried to pull some information about Jose, rest his soul, you know, rest his soul. I don't mean anything damning by that. But even Andrew, like, changed his story totally around. It was, he knew that Jose was in another country. He knew this, he knew that. Jeffy was hanging with Jose. How does somebody live with Jose for 2 years? And then Andrew said in another live, well, Jose was walking down the street when we were packing a vehicle and he decided to come with us in 10 minutes. Like, come on now. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it was a drug run. Do I think it had anything to do with Summer? Maybe. Maybe it had to do with an amount of money that Dawn fronted to somebody, or, you know, maybe it's Andrew's fault and that's how all these people were wrapped up. Again, a theory and speculation. That's what my channel is. Okay. It is nothing but speculation and theory. I am theorizing with you guys right now that they needed that U-Haul and that the storage space was a pickup area. I'd like to know who all had that key to the storage space. And I asked Andrew that the other day, and his story changed. He's told us in the past that Jose had access to the storage. Okay, but if Jose was just walking down the street, why would he need storage? Well, Candace and them had access to it because he asked me to store something. Go back and listen to Andrew. I'll clip it. I downloaded it. I'll play it my damn self. Like, the stories have changed over and over and over, but just so slowly, and so many people involved that us as watchers, creators, and subs have even been confused that we can't even get it together and get it straight. There is something with Andrew and Jose, in my opinion. Yep, it was a drop off. It was a middle section to get the drugs. And that could be why, an opinion speculating, that could be why LE is having such a hard time. They're trying to figure out who dropped them off or something. Like, there is something more to this, in my opinion. It's just too big, too many people, too many locals coming live. I've never seen nothing like it in my life. Even on local news, when you hear the neighbors like, oh yeah, the little boy next door got shot, and this and that's what happened, but you don't see them going and doing interview after interview after interview after interview and making channels on YouTube. And I mean, the reality of this is just strange. I don't know. Just strange, in my opinion. Everything about this case is strange. Yeah, it doesn't make no sense. None. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I don't want to say it yet because I have a question to ask Andrew. If he's listening and wants to come online with me, I'd appreciate it because then I can tell you what I'm thinking. Put it this way, I may have proof that Andrew never packed up no furniture to take to Tennessee. I have proof. I can't dox his daughter. I can't tell you where I seen it from. But the day prior to Andrew going to Tennessee, there's a video out there of his house. I'm not going to tell you where yet. I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. But the house was not packed. Nothing was packed. As a matter of fact, I'm even thinking now the children didn't go on that trip with them. Yep, bunch of crazy lies. All right, if nobody's going to jump off, I've been on here an hour and 22 minutes. My house is just waking up and I've made them be quiet. They're not real happy with me now. My granddaughter probably wants breakfast. I shouldn't be sitting here. So I'm going to jump off of here, but I had to get up here and give my opinions, and I want Cher to hear them. Cher, you're disgusting. You are a disgusting human being, and I hope you rot in hell. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.